Tonight, we're slipping between the realms of dreams and reality, back to a time when game designers wanted to be filmmakers, and filmmakers looked at games for inspiration. It's 3 AM, so let's boot up the PS2. We'll take a nocturnal journey through games and Y2K cinema to discover why our entertainment felt distant, but strangely beautiful. Pour yourself a drink as we travel through cities built with the memories of real places. Places that feel familiar but aren't quite real. They're either captured through a camera lens, built on a soundstage, or rendered from polygons and textures. Our movements may not make sense like in a dream. We can start in one place and walk through a door into somewhere else entirely. So let's move through these films and games which were never designed to be together. Yet somehow they fit like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. Are we connecting them for the first time? Or were they always connected? Let's grab our jackets and take a walk outside. Don't worry about the cold. We'll soon warm up. The streets are empty, aren't they? If you look closely, you'll realise it's just an approximation of a city. The scale is just slightly off. The roads are a little too wide. There's hardly any trees. Where are the rows of parked cars? Where is the mumbled sound of a television or an overheard conversation? At the turn of the millennium, games and films became obsessed with the underbelly of the city. The detective, the getaway driver, the lone criminal working with a collection of lowlifes. But it wasn't just about crime. It's about isolation. By making us the outlaw or the night shift worker, we got an excuse to be the only one awake in a sleeping world. Cinema also shifted its gaze. It was no longer looking at the hero, but the person who lives in the underbelly, in the shadows. Let's take a car and get out of here. Look at the offices. It's an unnatural environment. It's built with a strange hierarchy. During the day it masks itself with the illusion of purpose. There's ringing phones, shifting papers, the hum of productivity. It puts on more of a face than we ever could. But at night, these rooms transform. When the busy workers leave, the true face of the space is revealed. The sleek glass towers of Y2K thrillers and the endless corridors of Metal Gear Solid 2 share the exact same creeping dread. You're navigating systems moving much faster than you are. It's a space designed for work, not for living. You don't feel like a person anymore. You feel more like a ghost invading somewhere you shouldn't. This is the feeling of playing a PlayStation 2 in the witching hour. The machine could render massive sprawling cities and towering buildings, but it couldn't give them life. A pulse, you wander through the cities of nowhere, through their enormous sterile geometry. As the PS2 couldn't render real-time lighting for the entire city, the shadow in these games were literally painted onto the textures. The sun never moves, the lighting never changes. It's a permanent midnight, or perhaps a permanent fluorescent noon. What is real is a question that cinema poses to us a lot of the time, but when viewed through video games we have an easy answer. None of it. It's an abstraction of an abstraction. Is any of this actually real? We expect our ghosts to be living in old mansions, living in decay. But what if the real hauntings happen under fluorescent lights? These places make a nod towards everything we understand as architecture and furniture. It appears to have been designed for humans, but stripped of that humanity. Movies of the time also felt a loss of humanity. Perhaps we weren't haunted by the past, but by the future. By a media that was being born with all the trauma that comes with new life. Hey, it's getting light outside now. The spell's breaking. When we look back at this era of games and films, we find ourselves nostalgic for the emptiness itself. It's a strange thing to miss, but we weren't just exploring virtual cities. We were pacing around in the Millennium's waiting room. We were standing on a threshold, waiting for the future to begin. And then, the waiting was over. The liminal dread of the late 90s and early 2000s disappeared almost overnight, replaced by a reality that was loud and chaotic. The world stopped holding its breath. Games and movies shifted. The quiet, empty streets were replaced by war zones, sprawling sandboxes, and endless noise. But those empty cities were still there, frozen in the permanent midnight, painted onto discs, waiting in the dark. A digital memory of when the world was asleep and we were the only ones awake.
You're coming with me?
You were gonna just leave me?
No, but...
With all these monsters around?
No, I just...
I'm all alone here. Everyone else is gone.
I used to have nightmares that looked like this. Only they were beautiful nightmares.